Hey y'all, wrapping it up here. It's just about 6 o'clock, couple minutes till on Sunday the 14th. Gonna head in for some evening church. As you can see, it's dark out there already at almost 6 o'clock. I know it looks like I ain't done anything, but trust me, I have. And I'm gonna do something a lot of people probably don't. I'm gonna admit a mistake I made when we did these spindles up and put the stub axles on and everything. We had to adjust toe, because it was visibly, this side was visibly towed out, and it didn't make a lot of sense. But I figured, oh, well, whatever. Obviously, yeah, cutting a stub axle off and welding a stub axle on, you just assume they're in the same spot. Well, they weren't. The whole spindle must have been, when I cut it, I must not have cut it square to the brake mount. You see the rotor here and the brake mount are pretty much square. This one here wasn't. This one, obviously being towed out, that brake bracket was on an angle. And I got the hub out and I got it to spin and I got the brakes to work and it didn't bind. But as the brake pads came together, as you can see here, as they came together, it would cock, or it would do this. So it was actually leaned, it was bent in, the caliper was in and twisted. So what I had to do was I had to take the spindle back off, and I took it out and sandblasted it, and I put some cuts in it. Honestly, you can see those the saw cuts. I didn't cut all the way down to the end, right? What I'm going to do is put it back on, and leaving that little bit should allow me to bend and tweak and turn it a little bit with it still staying there, get it where it needs to be, and then we'll just weld it all back up, right? And, it happens. I cut straight in and I cut straight down. I cut as dead straight as I could. Maybe the spindle was just turned a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it moved when it got hot, went from heating the heat from welding or something. I don't know, but it was out of whack. And at first I thought, well, it's spinning free and clear, so the pads will wear cockeyed. Now this is all new. Everything's new. And I have new, like I said, the blue power pads coming. I don't want, 50, 60, 70, 80 bucks worth of brake pads wearing all cockeyed. So if we're going to fix it, we need to fix it now. So I'll be playing around with that. Once we get it all welded, obviously, then it's, probably depending on how hot it gets. It's not a stub axle, so maybe I don't need to normalize it like we did in the oven. We'll get paint on it and get the front end back together, and then we can go ahead and string the chassis. Rich did come over. Thanks, Richie. Stayed at it quite a bit. We plugged up the pipe. We took the exhaust probe out and used that to inlet air pressure into it. We plugged either end and hosed it down with soapy water here, and sure as anything, boy, she was like a fountain. 2 spots on the bottom where that oil was coming out. And then we found some little leaks around this bung that we put on, and he had to go. He welded a couple times, and then it would leak somewhere else, and he'd weld there. Finally, he welded all the way around, and it still was leaking here. So he ended up going back with rod this time instead of using the 045 MIG wire, and used a real fine mild steel rod that he brought from work, and welded it up and. Fingers crossed, obviously. I'm really, to be honest, I'm just not real confident about this pipe making it to race day and through the whole race without leaking or having a problem, cracking, breaking or something. And it's not Richie's fault. It's just these pipes are so thin. You got to go with these dainty little welds, and maybe it'll hold together, maybe it won't. I don't know. But we're gonna take the OEM pipe, which is not as big in volume. And we'll take it. And if there's any issue, any question before going out to race, we'll just put the other pipe on. So that's where we're at with this bad boy. Got all the water lines, all the hoses and stuff back on, hose clamps all tight, water system's all buttoned back up. It's ready to go. Like I said, we'll get to the spindle thing. Got all the wheels and tires mounted. Went over to Richie's and he buffed up the wheels real nice. So we got all the wheels and tires mounted. I know what you're saying right now. Gee, that's too much tire for that Yamaha. Brother Kenny is going to be giving me the business. But we do have these. We could always try these, I guess. These little 6 inches on the back. we really don't care if it's too much tire. You know, too much. Harry Hogg would say, tires is what wins you the race. So we're gonna run it. We're just gonna run it the way it is. It's just a toy for us to go down there and play with. We're gonna have fun with it. So thanks to Ace. Talked to Ace on and off today. Found out some things about this carburetor that Chris West gave us. It didn't have a low-speed needle in it. I bought a new low-speed needle, and I didn't even realize it didn't have a spring in the package. It doesn't come with a spring. And of course, the rubber on the needle was so thick down here on the bottom where it actually makes contact with the head of the needle itself. When you would turn the low-speed needle, the high-speed needle would rotate because they were touching. So went ahead and fixed that up. But I still don't have a spring. Ace is sending me a new high-speed needle, I think, a spring and all the apparatus I need for this low-speed stuff. So we'll get that all squared away. We got the gearing on it that we're going to run 1873. I think that's what Wayne Rumsey suggested for us, and it's the same ratio, 4.05. It's the same thing. I think that Ace is running, or he might be running 4.5 even. I don't know, but he's on a 1768. Hope I'm not letting out any speed secrets, Ace, but it's relatively the same. I think the same ratio. It's real close. So we'll see. I don't know. He's legal. He's got a nice aerodynamic, lightweight kart and all this stuff. We'll be nice and lightweight, that's for sure. But we're not going to have mile-long side panels on. To be honest, we've run Daytona with the long stuff. The long stuff doesn't help you. But anyway, there you go. We're gonna go ahead and continue knocking parts and pieces and stuff out of this as we go. Steering shaft, really the big bit. We got to get our can up in here and find out how much further we need the steering wheel toward us, so we can start working on that new steering shaft on this bad boy. After we get the steering squared away, then it's, we'll go ahead and carve up the seat as we're doing the steering, and then we can get the tanks mounted, which, as I said in the other video, we're going to be using as part of our seat. So, yeah, we're plugging away. It'll be in the 14th. We still have 5 weeks, right? 5 weeks. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Very close to, just barely 5 weeks, and all this stuff's going to have to be in the trailer. So we'll get her done. We'll get it going. It's going to be tight. It's going to be close. But that's it for the weekend. A little Christmas music on the radio. I'll have to bring you that VHS videotape of me building that Hartman with the R-Delt with the one-piece body on it for Daytona. It was I smile out here working on this stuff because it reminds me of that. It was like 92 or 94, I think. 96, something like that. It was a long time ago, and it was over at Mom's house out in the garage trying to get this going. And the same thing, just running out of time. Are we going to make it? Are we going to make it? Pretty cool, and brings back some memories. So I'm going to go in and maybe after church watch some old Christmas VHS videotapes. And I'll see, maybe I can bring you some of that next time. That's it, y'all. We're hanging out at RPM Incorporated. It's cold outside. Baby, it's cold outside. We got the heater down. It is. It's chilly. I'm wearing a winter hat. God bless y'all. Godspeed. Hang in there. We're praying for you. It'll get better.